realistically, from a content creator, influencer standpoint, like I'd have to set some like borders, sort of like a wall, just to be like, hey, you know, I only want to be like treated as this. Please don't like, you know what, like, so little take. You know what Dream does, where he enables his fans to be as rabid as possible? Do the exact opposite of that for me, where like, don't fanboy over me to that extent. Just be chill. That's all I could ever ask for. If you can do that, we're all gonna have a great time. Just saying. And here's the thing, like, I've had people try to like talk to me, like they find my Telegram or they message me on Twitter and they just downright send me porn as a means of starting a conversation with me. And I know it's not like trolls or like, you know, like, what is it, gamers, because they don't have PewDiePie as the person they follow. But like on Telegram, some people like just send me downright porn to start conversations with me. It's like a whole thing of like, is this what he's into? So like, instead of saying hi or like introducing themselves, people just send me porn. Which like, first off, you're sending the wrong shit. Send me the right stuff. I make it as obvious as possible. I don't know. A lot of you, I'm not saying all of you, but I've gotten messages and comments. A lot of you worry about coming off as weird or bizarre or strange or creepy. When I'm gonna be honest, 90% of the time, y'all are fine. I understand being nervous, like going to say hi to someone, because I was the same when I wanted to go and see like fursuiters I was a fan of. It's very nerve-wracking, and your mind doesn't help you with that, of like getting you worked up. You just gotta do it. That's all I can say. You just gotta do it. It's fine. But like, that's also another thing. Don't moan into my ears. Someone did that at MFF. It was not fun. And at this point, I have no patience for that sort of shit. But like, here's the thing. 90% of the time, you guys are fine. I understand if you're nervous or you want to like say hi to me or whatever. The only thing that I don't like, if you can avoid doing it, please don't stare at me first off. Like, don't stare at me from a distance or like try to hide from me. And second, when you're trying to say hi to me, don't try to be clever of like you just noticed me out of the corner of your eye. Or don't like announce that I'm there to the crowd, because some people have done that and it really makes me uncomfortable. Some people are like, oh my god, is that BetaEtaDelota? Please don't do that. Don't do that. Like, here's the thing. If you worry that you're going to do that, you should worry. Most of the time, what you guys worry about is just being creepy and saying hi or coming off as weird. You're perfectly fine. If you don't do these things of like announcing my presence to the world as if I'm this godlike figure that enters the convention space, you're fine. You're completely fine. Don't do the, oh my god, is that BetaEtaDelota? When I'm walking into a con space. Also, don't announce to everyone that I'm there being like, hey, BetaEtaDelota is coming, say hi to him. Don't do that either. Someone did that. You know who you are at Anther Northwest. You know who you are. I don't know you, but I really don't care to, but you know who you are. Don't do that. If you can avoid doing those two main things, you're fine. Don't worry. There's some other things of like, you know, staring at me or pointing at me. Unless you're like in my line of sight. Staring at me is fine. Like saying hi to me, wanting to take a picture or whatever. That's fine. You're completely fine, okay? But when you're staring at me from a distance, kind of like creepily, like a little bit out of my vision, that's a bit kind of weird. That's all. I'm not saying the other things of like grabbing me from behind, trying to pick me up when I'm not even talking to you. All those things, that's kind of just like basic, like actually literally everything that I just listed is like common courtesy when meeting another human being. I don't know why I'm going through this list of things not to do. This is just like, this is normal. And this is mainly, the thing about this is, from what I've known, it's only a furry fandom issue. Like at other cons, like, yeah, I've heard some horror stories of like really bizarre people like trying to be touchy or like not really like consenting to the fact that this other person is a human being. Those people are just like escorted out easily. I don't know why it's different with furries. I don't know. When it comes to parasocial relationships, I would say the golden rule is don't be a fucking creep. When it comes to being a creep, it's all subjective, and that's a really subjective thing. But with regards to like the very like sort of like meat of, I don't know, like using that word, the more specific term of parasocial relationships is I don't like it when I'm treated as someone above other people. I don't like it when I'm treated as a god. I don't like being treated as being more important than any other person that you'd see on the street. Now, of course, even that sort of last statement is very up in the air for what people see because, you know, just being a content creator online, you know, someone's gonna think you're more valuable or more whatever. Like, when you say hi to me, you can just say hi to me and just make it as chill as possible. Just like, say hi to me, say you love what I do, ask what I'm doing, basic stuff.
Hello. What's your opinion on people who DM you and
Oh boy.
attempt to make friends, and would it be alright if I sparked up a conversation over Discord?
Now, oh boy, this is I've been trying to figure out how to have this conversation the right way and do this video the right way because it's very important. And the whole thing with parasocial relationships going to friendships is a very, very finicky thing. I know, like, a lot of content creators have gone ahead and said things like, hey, you know, if you're a fan of my thing, we're not friends. We're never going to be friends. It's like, that's a bit of a harsh but somewhat true perspective to take. So, like, I want to, like, not sugarcoat it, but give you the honest answer about it. With regards to people DMing me to make friends, I totally get the sort of appeal to wanting to do that. You want to be friends with someone you relate to. Not just because they do what they do, but because you enjoy them for them. You meet someone that is so extremely relatable that you enjoy their company, that you enjoy them for them. You enjoy their personality, especially if it's who it is, the person that you're wanting to become friends with or get to know is the same as who they say they are online, which has been a lot of the cases with me, with people wanting to meet me and get to know me, who have been fans, or I hate using that word, who have been viewers, you know, who enjoy the content that I produce. And that's okay. It's okay to want that. But at the same time, it's not that I have a hard time saying no to people doing that. When it comes to making friends with someone, just don't force it. That's all I ask. When you want to be friends with someone, let it naturally happen. I don't say, like, oh, we're never going to be friends. We're never going to interact outside of, you know, the whatever brief, not even 5-minute interaction we have with one another about you enjoying my content. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And that's why I say, hey, Beta, will we be friends one day? I usually reply, maybe. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But trying to force it to happen is not a healthy relationship. When you're forcing a friendship, it's a one-way road. It's a one-way street. Maybe they might not profess that same desire to be in that sort of relationship. But I'm using relationship in the terms of friendship. Maybe they might not want that. Personally, right now, I'm in the position where I've spread myself way too thin. And I have way too many friends, not in the sense of I don't care about them, but like I only have so much of me that I can give. And so what I've been doing is refining a lot more of my relationships, building the friendships that I have so that I'm closer with them instead of being just friends I see every so often. That's what I've been really trying to do. And that's something that I encourage a lot of other people to do. Just instead of trying to get more friends, get friends that you know you can be true to or that you can be closer to instead of more. It's quality over quantity in this case, because relationships with other people prefer more quality relationships. That's the thing. So when it comes to meeting people or being friends or befriending others, I leave it as a maybe, but I will be transparent when I say that at the moment, I'm looking to just further the relationships that I have currently. It's not to say that I'm looking to not meet anyone in general or not get to know people in general. What I'm saying more so is that my focus now is with the friends that I have now. And if friendships happen, they happen. You gotta let life happen as it happens. And exactly what you said, Fox. Some of the best and true friendships happen on accident. A lot of the friends that I meet happen because they just happen on a whim. You know, when I met Kyle, you know, I met him for the first time as Majira. I got a picture with him. He was the first sort of like acquaintance that I met at a convention at Anther New England 2018. And he was going to invite me to hang out later, apparently he said. I'm like, oh, you know, that would have been cool, but whatever it is, what it is. I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk to that extent. It was just whatever. First con, had a good time regardless. You know, later at Anthrocon, when we were at the same con, we didn't hang out much. He had his own things he was doing, and I just kind of did my own thing and explored my own thing as well. Reached out to him randomly on Telegram on Sunday saying, hey, you know, want to hang out today? It's kind of a chill day. If you want to get some food or whatever, no worries. I wasn't expecting a response back because I know how busy he is and I know how he is in general. And, you know, he got back and met up with me. Then we hung out. And we did all this stuff. And it was great. We had a great time. But when it comes to that, you just gotta let it happen. And don't be mad if it doesn't happen. Maybe I might not be the best friend for you, for what you're looking for the person that you're looking for. I might not be that. And people think that when it comes to making friends, that it's a lot more diverse and open than it is like with relationships. I say the way I'm talking about it is like, oh, you know, I might not be the person for you with regards to like an actual like relationship, like boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, like a romantic relationship, like romantic interest, when that's not it. But in reality, friendships do kind of take that to a certain extent. You got to realize that I might not be the right friend for you. I might not be the best person to have in your life as a friend, but like, that's just what it is. With friendships, you gotta let it happen naturally. You might run into me at a con, you might say hi, whatever. Just understand that, like, I'm just another person, just another dude on the internet. That's really all it is at the end of the day. And ultimately, I want to be treated as such. And pursuing a relationship or trying to force it to happen and then getting mad if it doesn't happen, that doesn't really leave a good taste in my mouth about wanting to interact or be friends or do anything further. That's all. And it's not to say that I don't want friends, or it's not to say that I don't want to meet friends or meet people, but just let it happen. A lot of things might take time. Things might not happen, and that's just something you kind of have to accept when you're meeting people. You might not be friends with the person you want to get to know. You just might not. It might not happen. But you might also have it happen. That's why, like I said, when I was meeting Kyle, I didn't expect to have any answer. I wasn't expecting anything. If you expect things from other people when it comes to making friends, that's kind of the wrong way to somewhat do it. Of course, if it's like business or like a promise or whatever, but when you're initiating it on your end, there's only so much you can do. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. But don't let that destroy you trying to make really good, lasting relationships with other people. Especially if you're trying to sacrifice your current relationships with people for relationships with someone you look up to. Like this whole concept that's been brought up in the furry fandom from time to time about interacting with popufurs or befriending popufurs or those of a higher follower status or notoriety online. Like, I get that people might do that, but don't do that. Genuinely pursue relationships that will last to longer relationships. And I know that sort of contradicts my whole thing of saying like, you know, like, let friendships happen. But at the same time, put yourself out there. Initiate some conversations. You won't get anywhere by sitting in the background and not wanting to do anything. Put yourself out there. Make yourself available. Try to initiate with people that you might click with ever so slightly. Maybe you might not click with them. Just because you guys have the furry thing in common doesn't mean that you know, you're going to be good friends. I've met people that I originally befriended because they were furries and they just didn't end up clicking with me at all. We were polar opposites, and that's okay. That's another thing. You don't have to get along with everyone. Just because you might not get along with them or might not be friends with them or don't have any sort of friendship does not mean that they're evil. They're not evil people, which again, that may or may not be true, but still, I've seen it treated where like, oh, this person didn't want to be my friend. They're fucking awful. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand happen. So just, there's a lot when it comes to it. With regards to making friends, with regards to meeting people, with regards to wanting to be friends with your favorite content creator, let it naturally happen. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. If it happens, cool. But ultimately, you do what you need to do to build the relationships that will be lasting for a lifetime. And sometimes they might not. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket when it comes to making friends with someone, especially someone you look up to. Someone like me, other content creators on Twitch and YouTube, other fursuiters, it somewhat objectifies people to an extent. I don't know, if you're trying to befriend people because of their fursuit, like, that's just, don't do that. That's another can of worms I don't want to open. But ultimately, when it comes to meeting people, make yourself available, pursue relationships that you know will be worth pursuing, be open-minded about things, understand that not everyone you meet or might want to be friends with is a good match for what you might be looking for with a friend. Understand that people that don't want to be your friends aren't evil people. Things happen. People come and go. It's okay. And I think the biggest thing with regards to meeting people and making friends, let it happen naturally. Put yourself out there to the extent of being interested in the other person. I get as is from even what you're saying, Millennia, of just asking the question of wanting to talk over Discord, wanting to interact, that you'd want to be a friend with me. You're showing interest as another human being that you would like to interact further. And that is appreciated. That is genuinely a good first step. But pursuing it further, or like trying to force it to happen and getting mad when it doesn't happen, that's unhealthy. There's a certain extent that you need to kind of find that balance. And that doesn't just go for you, that goes for everyone. And it's not just with, content creators. It can be with anyone. So when you meet people, just remain open-minded. Don't force it, but at the same time, make yourself available. I'm going in circles at this point. And to an extent, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I hope you're getting what I'm, putting out there. So I hope that gave you a bit of insight as to just how things are with furry relationships, parasocial relationships, interacting with other content creators, interacting with other people, I don't know if I worded it the right way either. And that's about it,